Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk to you about The Last of Us Season 1, Episode 9, the season finale. I have no idea what this episode is called, but this was a really interesting, unique episode. It sadly only has one zombie in it, and it's a flashback. And so, yeah, this show that's been sold as a zombie apocalypse barely has any zombies in it. And the thing is, their zombies look really cool when you get up and close with the mushrooms and the fungus and all this algae looking crap. Well, probably not algae, but you know what I'm saying. And so, yeah, that's like totally bums it out for me because I really wanted to see a zombie apocalypse. I didn't want to see a show that's very emotional and dramatic with no zombies in it. Then it just goes back to The Walking Dead, like how they were, and a little bit of Van Helsing and stuff. But nevertheless, the stories are extremely good and intriguing. And so, with that said, in this episode, it piggies back off of what happened last week, but we get a really cool flashback. We get to see Ellie's mom running and trying to give birth to her and everything. As she's trying to give birth, she's in a room by herself. It's frantic. It really sets the mood. I really love the interior of the building because of the simple fact it really looks like it's been abandoned. That's one of the things that's been bugging me about The Walking Dead. None of the interior of the buildings look abandoned, for the most part. And judging by the outside of that building, it looks totally CGI. Like the entire building itself just looks like CGI. Which, nothing is real in Hollywood no more. Not even people's faces. Seriously, man. Every older actress, I can't tell them, I can't tell sometimes who they even are anymore. Their faces are so puffy. But, here, I like the use of CGI with practical stuff. It really sets the mood of what you really want to convey in your show or movie and stuff. It's kind of the way things were back in the day when they used to be like in Star Trek and they have like a portrait and they'll just zoom in on the portrait and stuff like that and add like a teeny tiny bit of CGI like a ship flying in. It reminds me of that, but just so much better now with computers and stuff. And so before she can even give birth, boom, here comes a zombie attack. And so she's just stabbing the crap out of it with the knife that Ellie has. So that's how she got her knife. And Ashley Johnson is the one who plays Ellie in the game, and she plays her mom. I gotta talk about that full circle, So that's really cool they did that. But now we see how Ellie got immune and everything, and originally how she got infected. So while she was trying to kill the zombie and everything, she realized, she got bit and everything. And so the virus spreads pretty quickly, so perhaps that could have been it, but I don't think it could spread that fast. But what does this fool do? She has to cut the umbilical cord. So she uses her dirty knife that has not been cleaned off and has zombie blood on it. And she uses it to cut the umbilical cord. Then she ties it up. And so in just that split time, that's how germs and infections and stuff can pass very quickly. And that's how Ellie was infected in the beginning as a little baby. And, personally, I would have liked it better if the mom was bit a long time ago and then she survived for a couple of weeks. And then that's how Ellie got infected. But hey, I'll take whatever I can. Now, because I watch a lot of Called a Midwife, which, yes, I am going to be talking about very soon for this month because, it's a woman's history month and stuff. I'll watch tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of babies being delivered and having their umbilical cords cut. And well, you don't do it that way. You never, ever, ever use a blade that's never been cleaned. Now, even though I've seen a lot of them being cut, it's been a while. I turn my head. They use these special clamps, cutter type things to do it, the medical things. But in season 2, I believe, the Christmas episode, or maybe it was a different episode. This one girl gave birth and she cut her own umbilical cord, and then next thing you know, she gave the baby to like the nuns and stuff like that. But then the mother didn't want to be known, and so the nuns and the nurses and everything, they realized something. Oh, they see like the afterbirth or whatever. Well, they saw something that come from like, giving birth. And so they all like, well, where's the umbilical cord and blah, blah, blah. Oh no. She didn't cut it properly and stuff like that. I think if you don't have the proper equipment, you're supposed to tie it off like with rope or something like that. Um, and something else, I can't remember. But yeah, it's something like that. But you're never supposed to use a dirty blade. So of course, this is how Ellie got infected originally. So Marla's there, I think that's her name. And that's like her best friend. And she's all like, look, I got bit after I gave birth, blah, 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 blah. Of course, she lied. And she's all like, take my child and everything, protect her, and then kill me afterwards. Marla doesn't want to do that. And we see a very good acting from Ashley, being frantic, screaming and crying, and everything. And then Marla gives the baby to some guy, and then she goes in point blank and boom, boom, and everything. Well, just one boom, and takes her out. And man, it makes me wonder if they're more than just best friends. I always got the impression from the first episode Marla might be a lesbian and everything. And so that could have been like her like friend on the side and everything. And so now we get to Ellie and stuff, and she's still out of it from last week. She's not her usual self. She's beside herself. And Joel is desperately trying to do everything he can to cheer her up. Because he loves her now and everything. He's been spending so much time with her. And he doesn't like seeing her like this. So he has like, what's that word game? Something. Starts with a B. And he finds ravioli. And I think as they're walking, like, he's talking about the book of puns and everything. So she starts like delivering some. I didn't understand any of them. And so they finally get to the place they have to, or one of the places they have to, well, no, they're surveying the area they're in because they're near where they're supposed to be. And so they try to find like the tallest building. And as they're like in it, she is still upset about like, like I said, the whole David situation and stuff. And he's bringing up Sarah and everything. And, because he sees Sarah in her. Because he just wants that yearning for like a daughter. So it makes you wonder how she feels about that. Because she don't have her father. She don't got her mother. And, but she's doing the whole loner thing. And it has to really make you wonder, kind of like, you have to hold a little resentment to that, like, oh, so it's kind of like, you're just not in it for me, you're in it because you're trying to, like, imprint your daughter on me and stuff like that, so it makes you wonder how she feels. And one of the funniest things happens when, like, he has the ladder, he's trying to give her a boost up to the second floor, and she drops the ladder on him, but like, oh my God, you gotta see this. So she starts running in her cutesy little way and everything, her little bouncy way. And so he's desperately trying to like find her, and she like, I'm getting lost, man. She's going around the circle, going upstairs. And so then she's looking out the window, and boom, it's a giraffe, and it's a real giraffe behind a blue screen. And I never knew their tongues looked like that. And it reminded me of Jurassic Park with like the branch of the tree and the bronchosaurus and everything, and letting it eat from your hand and stuff like that, I still don't know how she saw the giraffe from a far away distance she was at when she was on the second floor, because she had to run up more steps and everything. And so when they're outside, I noticed something. I'm all like, is this it? Are they just gonna talk the entire episode and just bond? And nothing's gonna happen. But then I'm like, no, wait a minute, I've seen way too much TV. They're talking way too much and letting their guard down. They're bound to get ambushed. And boom, they get ambushed and everything. And so it's the Fireflies. And when Joel wakes up, it's Marla. And he wants to know where Ellie is. And so she keeps talking about, oh, I never wanted to entrust her with you and blah, 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 blah. And like wanted to know how he made it this far because with the people backing her up, they've almost died several times, and it's been quite the journey for Joel and Ellie. And so she finally tells Joel the truth about like Ellie, how she was like originally affected and how she's immune, the mother, and what they're gonna do to save the world. Basically, they're gonna cut her head open, take some cordyceps out from the fungus because they're different than the normal kind, and then mass produce that and cure the world. Well, of course, she didn't say had to cut open the head, but he's all like, but the cordyceps are inside the head. So of course that means she ain't gonna survive that. And so Marla's being a queen bee at this time, like a real hard nose. She wants her men to just drop Joel off at like the side of the road with the bag and give him Ellie's knife as a going away gift and everything. And of course, she's being so hard nosed that tells him like, if he tries anything, just shoot him. So it's just like she is cold hearted, man. Like, she's willing to sacrifice this one girl's life for the entire world, which now makes you think. Is it necessary? Should you sacrifice one for the needs of the many? It's one of those things and stuff. It's a hard question to ask because we like Ellie, but we also want the entire world to live. And so, what would you do in that situation? Well, we know what Joel did. Joel went to town and everything. He murdered every single last one of her men. Then when he went and finally, he went from like room to room looking for Ellie and everything. And when he finally finds her, she's in there with like 3 nurses and 1 doctor. He tells that doctor straight up, unhook her. He's all like, I ain't gonna let you like take her. Boom, in the head and everything. Then he tells the nurses, unhook her. Once they do, they get out. But of course, they're stopped by Marla. She tries to reason with him. She even lowers her gun. And lowering the gun don't mean nothing because one dude lowered his rifle and put his hands up in the air and he still got shot. So, of course, he shoots Marla and everything. And as he's driving with Ellie, she wakes up. And she asks what happened, and he gives her the biggest lie of them all. He basically tells her some crap like they tested it out on other kids, and for whatever reason, they decided to give up on the cure and all this other mess, and something wouldn't work. And I'm just thinking to myself, why didn't he just tell her the truth? Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Because what would it really matter? I mean, if I would have known that I'm the cure, but in order to be cured, you have to chop my head open and mess with the inside of like my brain and other crap like that, and get some thing like get some little fungi out and so whatever it is they have to get out and everything. I would want to live too. But then again, it really makes you wonder, what does she want? Does she want to save the world or does she not? Because she likes the idea of living. We know that, and she fights very hard. And she knows she's supposed to save the world. And I remember with the whole Sam thing, she tried to give him her blood, and it didn't work. And it's kind of like, so she really does want to help people, but does that mean she's willing to give her life? That we'll never know. I have no idea if it's discussed in the game, because I still haven't watched the game. I'm going to watch the cutscenes at some point. And so, but I'm wondering if I should spoil myself with season 2 or not. I mean, I've already did with the doctor and the girl, because like people are like, no, Joe, don't kill that doctor. I'm like, what the world are they talking about? So I Googled it and I'm like, oh, okay, somebody's gonna get some revenge in season 2. And so like, he doesn't tell her and she doesn't believe him. And so as they're walking, because the car gives out, because they're going back to the commune and everything. And so like As they're walking, she decides she's gonna finally reveal something to him. She reveals the first person she ever killed. And that, of course, was her girlfriend. Well, not really girlfriend, her best friend, love interest. And so then she asked him straight up again, is everything you told me in the car, was it real? She's like, yep. And she's like, well, okay. And then it ends and everything. And I think the reason why she finally let up with him is because of two reasons. One, he finally started talking about Sarah, something he never wanted to do. So he's letting her in. So she's kind of like, all right, I'm going to let you in. Or it could be, he murdered straight up all those people in Marla and stuff. Marla was the best friend of her mom. And so it's kind of like, maybe if she opens up at the person she killed, maybe he'll open up at all them people he just recently killed and stuff. But so it makes you wonder what season 2 is gonna be like. And so, like, my overall thoughts of this entire season and show for the most part is it's good, but it could be great. It's not great because of the following reasons. One, no stinking zombies and everything. That totally sucks. Two, the flashbacks of the beginning of the episodes really set the stage. They're some of the most scariest, best stuff ever. Another reason why this series isn't great, but still very, very good, is because, like, in my opinion, I know a lot of people are happy that it adapts straightforward from like the video game, but only changes slight things. I kind of wish it would change a bit more because a lot of people know exactly what's coming. Also, things that work in a cartoon don't work in live action. Things that work in the video game don't work for live action. There are a lot of really interesting and fascinating characters that just die in the episodes they appear in. And I'm just kind of like, man, these would make for great recurring characters. And they could get like revenge and all this other stuff, or they could help along with the story. But no, they just literally die in the episode they appear in, just like, a lot of them do in the game and stuff. And could you imagine if David or that crazy lady from that one community from episode 5 or Marla would have like survived and everything, what that would have mean for the drama aspect of it and the world building of it, Another thing, you have to knock it down for points. There's really not that much action in there. Like, it's really not gruesome at all. And every time they get to action, they tend to shy away from it. And then, like with this action scene, they muted it and had some music playing as Joel was just like taking people down room from room and everything. It's just to be like artsy and everything. But I didn't need no artsy. I need some action. I need to hear like Punisher style action, like, Resident Evil style action and stuff. But other than that, the show is completely fine. The acting is good, the story is good, the journey is good, and everything. It does go by too quickly and fast, in my opinion, and you don't have time to breathe. So if I was to ever rank this number-wise, which I don't do that, I'll probably give it like a 7 or a 6 out of 10, only because of those things I listed. Like, those things I listed will really enhance the story a whole lot better than just like, emotional drama and everything with barely any zombies. Like, you need zombies. And I don't care what some of these people on Twitter say. If you want zombies, just play the video game. Man, screw you. I want some zombies. I don't play video games and everything. Like, one of the reasons why I love Resident Evil, well, the first 3 movies and, The Walking Dead and stuff, because it had zombies in it. It had action, it had heart, it had emotion, it had world building. And, this show only has some of that. And it's quite a shame. So they really need to up their ante for season 2. And more episodes will help out, Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.